That was life-changing money, dude, and it's all gone. Or at least I thought it was all gone. But before we get into that, I'm going to share a little bit about life in Japan with you. Because I've been here for 12 years, one of the amazing things about life in Japan is New Year's and New Year's time. It's really, really cool time. It's kind of like Thanksgiving if you're in Canada or the US. Everybody gets together, family gets together. There's lots of traveling going on around the country. Everybody just gets together and just chills for like 3 or 5 or 7 days. They prepare all the food in advance. All these cool, fun shows on TV. Everybody has like endless beer ready, and you just sit around and chill. And one of the crazy things that started to happen, especially in Asia in December of 2017, is that everybody started to buy crypto. In particular, a little crypto called Ripple, or XRP. Check it out here. This is CoinMarketCap.com, everybody's favorite crypto site. Ripple was like 6/1000th of a cent for a while in 2017, 20 cents, and then all of a sudden, boink, 55 cents, a buck, $2, $2.50, and it goes all the way up to like 367. So imagine you bought that thing at like 1/1000th of a cent or whatever it was. That could be like your whole financial situation is like set forever. And for me, I had tens of thousands of Ripple sitting in my cold storage at home in my hometown. I didn't bring it with me on the trip. And so I would open my my crypto tracker and see my account going up $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, 50,000, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 100. And it's like, dude, this is going to change everything for me. This is going to change everything. But going back to the graph, that ended really quickly. So January 4th, 367. And by January 12th, $2. And by February, back down to 80 cents. And then it just kind of melted. And let's zoom back all the way out to all. And then it just kind of 30 cents, 20 cents for like a really long time. Recently, that started to change, thankfully. And that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about today. Check it out. Let's take a look at the DogeCoin chart. DogeCoin basically started as a meme. People were like, capitalism and coins are stupid. Let's see if we can get people to make money by trading something that doesn't do anything or have any worth, which a lot of people argue crypto actually is. So going back to the chart, check it out. Forever, 0.002 cents for like the longest time. And people are like, YOLO, I'll buy 10,000 of those for like a buck, whatever. And now, sitting at April 17th, it is 29 cents, which is like thousands and thousands of percents ROI, depending on when you got in. If you happen to own Dogecoin, I strongly encourage you, don't be shy about taking some gains. Don't be shy about covering your cost basis. On today's live stream earlier today, I was talking about that, how you can cover your cost basis and then just hold forever. Doesn't really make a difference after that. You're not losing money if the stock or the crypto goes down after that because you've already covered your costs. Now you can effectively hold forever. Kind of a similar story maybe in the making with Bitcoin Cash. It's gone as high as, check it out here, it's gone as high as like, I think it was $3,800, something like that. And then forever, $200. And just now it's starting to make its way up. I think we're at about 1,100, 1,140 right now. Are we going to see the same thing? Or is it going to be like Bitcoin where it like multiplicatively gets bigger every single time it has a wave? What do you guys think? And here's the Bitcoin chart we saw right around that time, the end of 2017. It hit 14,000. I think it got up to like 18, something like that. Yeah. And that's when the whole world started to trip out. Be like, is this an actual thing, or is this are just people stealing money from you around the world kind of thing? Then, went back down. I was able to grab some at like 3,000, which is cool. And now we're, back up to 62,000 kind of thing. It's not going to stay here forever, and it might not go much higher than this. in the near short term. And to add to that, we had Coinbase come out with its direct offering earlier this week with a lot of price drama. A lot of people got kind of freaked out by what ended up happening with the price. Despite the listing price being $250, it ended up actually getting to market at 370-ish. I think we got almost up to 400. And this is actually the 2-day chart. Let's zoom out a little bit to the 5-day chart. Yeah, check that out. $430 peak. And then it just kind of blip, 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 blip. Now it's at 340. We did hit it almost down to the 200s. But what that teaches us is that, well, actually, there's a lot to talk about from this, but generally IPOs and even DPOs aren't the best time to buy a stock. But thinking more about Coinbase, people are kind of like, dude, should I get in? It's so profitable. This is going to be the best stock ever, right? Should I get it? But one of the things you got to remember about cryptos in general is that crypto is very much the Wild West. If you think about the Wild West, think about like an old Western drama or action movie where it was kind of like, I could come into a little town that had 100 people. If I had skills with a pistol, I could do whatever I wanted. Even if the sheriff came after me, if I could take him out, I could do what I wanted. I could take all your money. I could take all your beer, whatever. It's not a big deal. And then I'm off into the darkness. There's no CIA. There's no fingerprints. There's no internet. You do what you want. And it's very much like that with crypto. And so you can see endless stories on the internet, people being like, oh, dude, I spelled my transaction code wrong. And I was trying to send Bitcoin to my cold storage or to my brokerage. I typed it wrong and now it disappeared into the ether. There's no federal authority that's going to get that back for you. There's no customer service who you can yell at to get your crypto back for you. It's all very mysterious. And that's one of the really tricky things when, especially for beginners, getting into crypto. And that's also one of the big hurdles that keeps like the average Joe out of getting into crypto because there's such a long learning curve, And so when you're thinking about crypto, when you're thinking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, DogeCoin, Cardina, and all these different ones, it's kind of like, where do I get started? And so going back to Coinbase, being a public entity you can invest in that is now kind of involved with this Wild West. First of all, you need to consider that a lot of these coins are trading at all-time highs. And so Coinbase is very profitable because it takes a percentage of those, transaction fees. And like I showed you on the charts a minute ago, they don't just trend up. They go up a little bit and then they kind of do nothing for a long time. And then they go up a little bit higher and then they do nothing, and I think if you didn't get into Coinbase and you wanted to get into Coinbase, if you wait a little bit, things will cool down and you'll be able to get back in. One of the questions we were talking about on the live stream is like, what will be the new low for Bitcoin? For example, it's 65 grand right now. I personally think that with the legitimacy brought by Tesla, Elon Musk, and a number of hedge funds and big money companies talking about, dude, we need to get Bitcoin into our portfolio, I don't think we'll be able to get back down to $3,000 or $4,000 per Bitcoin. Could be 15, it could be 30,000, but I don't think it's going to get, back down to the lows that it used to get to ever again, And so with that ongoing growing legitimacy, you're going to see that start to spill out into other crypto coins, and you're also going to see these other crypto coins decoupling from crypto. Another really interesting thing about crypto is that all the different coins have different purposes and different objectives. Typically, if you're investing on the New York Stock Exchange in a public company, the goal of being a public company is to make the stockholders money, to make them profit. And that's the standard modus operandi we all look at with stocks. But with crypto, it's not like that. Bitcoin is not necessarily designed to be a transaction, to be a replacement for the USD. Whereas Ripple might be. Ripple is kind of like I've sent Ripple from Europe to Japan and cashed it out into yen, and the whole process takes 2 seconds and costs 1 cent. You will never be able to do that with Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash is, the proponents of it call it the real Bitcoin because it's designed to be quicker and have lower transaction fees. And so that shows you, and Ethereum, on the other hand, is used up to power different transactions and stuff like that too. So they all have different goals and they all have different methodologies, and some of them are extremely centralized, some of them are extremely not centralized. And so These are all different risk factors you got to consider if you're thinking about getting into crypto. But going back to my story at the beginning of the video, I was talking about like, dude, I thought I lost it all. My portfolio was like 6 figures and I had only put in like a few hundred or a couple $1,000, something like that. And my tendency was to be like, dude, I'm just going to cash out. But it went back down to the price I bought it at. And if I cash out, I would just be zero. But I knew, like, not only do I trust in the future of Ripple as a cryptocurrency that provides really good utility because I've tried it, international, transactions and remittance, but I think it might get back to that level again. And sure enough, we're back to $2 now. It could get to $3, $4. Who knows, We did see in the news over the last few months, the SEC basically confronting Ripple and saying, hey guys, you're actually a stock. You're not a crypto. And therefore, you've dodged all these other rules that every other publicly traded company is trying to abide by. And you guys are in trouble for that. Turns out Ripple was correct. Brad Garlinghouse, the guy who set it up, is kind of smart. And he was doing things correctly. And then the SEC eventually dropped the lawsuit, which caused that lid to pop off and the price to go crazy. And so it's back on the scene now. And this is what you're going to be seeing in the Wild West of cryptos. You have to be in a totally different mindset from when you're trading on the New York Stock Exchange, which is governed by all these authorities and stuff like that. And so I thought my gains were going to be gone forever and they may never come back. But I decided I'm just going to stick with it. I'm just going to hold Ripple. Could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And sure enough, it's coming back. Same thing with Bitcoin Cash. And we've seen that even with Bitcoin itself hitting new all-time highs. And so when you're thinking about your whole portfolio, you're thinking about stocks, you're thinking about crypto, what kind of balance should I get? Some people feel like crypto is extremely speculative, and more people are starting to feel like that's not really the case anymore. And for me, I just got to remember that it's still kind of the Wild West. Investing in Coinbase allows me to take a little bit off the top of every single transaction that's happening in America's largest crypto exchange, which is really exciting. But cryptos themselves play a kind of a different role in my portfolio. A little bit more speculative, a little bit higher risk, much more movement and drama, and therefore I need to watch them a little bit more. But you also need to remember that you can't analyze these. You can't talk to their management team. You can't look at 8Ks and 10Ks and quarterly reports and pretty presentations and stuff like that. But on the other hand, you could see growth from 0.0006 cents to 20 cents or 30 cents like DogeCoin has, or whatever the numbers are recently, which is more than Tesla's done in the last couple of years, even though Tesla's, considered by many to be like, oh my gosh, that's the craziest deal ever. And so I keep a good portion of my investments in crypto. And because of the crazy kind of parabolic growth that's gone on, the ratio has gotten like crypto is catching up with stocks in a lot of ways, even though I didn't invest nearly as much as I have in the stock market. So what role does crypto play in your portfolio? Hopefully the lesson I learned of my panic, my fear of like, oh my gosh, I missed out on all those gains. Just hold, just wait. It might come back. It's probably going to come back because this provides a good service. Hopefully that lesson is meaningful or helpful for you when it comes to your crypto investing. I also wanted to mention, those of you who are familiar with Coinbase and other services like BlockFi, there are starting to be more kinds of services, accounts, like not only hoping your crypto goes up in value so you can sell it, but now you can buy crypto. And if you're just planning to hold it for a few years anyways, you can put it in services like BlockFi. And click down here if you want to learn more about BlockFi and get up to $250 of crypto for free. If you sign up, basically you put your crypto in there and it's earning interest for you at like 5, 6, 7% per month, which is like no bank in the world does that with USDs or anything like that. And so we're starting to see financial services kind of exploding around crypto, and that's going to bring even more legitimacy. But keep in mind that there are risks involved with this. The government doesn't have your back if there's a big hacking or if an exchange just vanishes. You got to do all this stuff at your own risk. And so keep that in your mind if you're getting started with crypto, or if even if you've been in it for a long time, it's going to be much more dramatic. Thank you guys so much for your time. Love you and talk to you soon.